Hello family, friends, and YouTube. Today is June 10th and we are going to install the bullet brake on my 2024 Honda Goldwing DCT Tour named Snowee. For those of you who follow this channel, you know this is my bike's name is Snowee. There's some history behind that if you'd like to look it up on previous videos. But I'm going to do a little extra on this installation, and that is because I'm going to show you some things that you may not have seen on other videos. Now, there are other videos out there on how to install the brake. Cruiseman has one. Cruiseman does a great job on his videos, and Robert White as well. So both have videos out on this. I'm going to do something just a tad bit different simply because I'm removing this reservoir cap from Snowee that has the panicle mounts on it, because I actually use the one on the left and I don't use this one on the right, so I don't need that cap anymore. So I'm going to remove that cap. Well, I thought while removing the cap, after I install the bullet brake, I'm going to show you what happens when you are pumping and why it takes a lot of pumps to get the air out of the line, that you don't see what's happening inside of here. So I don't recommend that you do this when you're changing the bullet brake, but I do recommend that you look closely to how many pumps it's going to take me once I start this installation to prime it and everything. And maybe you'll understand what's happening inside your reservoir. All right, so let's go over and look at the packaging of the bullet brake itself. All right, here you can see the bullet brake. It basically came in an envelope and has instructions. Here are the instructions basically, and then the back shows you the usage of how to use the bullet brake. And we're going to follow the instructions pretty close to detail. We're just going to add a little bit to it. As you can see, here is the actual bullet brake. And we're not going to break it out of its container because we don't want any contaminations, because we're going to be dealing with your brake lines. So I don't want any debris. But as you can see, for the 2024 Honda Goldwing, the bullet brake BB05, as you can see, it's checked right there, BB05. This is the one we're going to use on the Goldwing. And if you can see it clearly, if I'm not showing it right, there we go. And we are going to just leave it in the package until it's time to remove it. It comes with the bullet brake and 2 gaskets or seals, washers that are in there. But right now we're going to just go ahead and go over to the bike because we have to do a little bit of cleaning. That is prep work before you start installing this bullet brake. Okay, the first thing we want to do right now is we want to clean off all the contaminants that are around the bullet brake set where we're going to install the bullet brake. So basically clean all your brake line. I'm going to go ahead and clean this cap too, because when I do the second part here, I will be removing the brake reservoir cap. But anyway, we're going to clean off all that stuff. Now that's part 1, is just simply clean everything up. Then the next step of the process is to take yourself a whole bunch of rags. Now I've got tons of rags, and you're going to put the rags around your entire bike, where the leakage could occur at. Now, I don't plan on reusing these after I take everything off, but also we're going to turn the handlebars all the way to the left. Now, just enough to where you can get in here and work. And I'm sure you can see it right there. I can still work right there. This allows me to have a working room that I'm going to need. But believe me, I've seen some videos when they open up that stuff goes everywhere, and I'm just not taking any chances. You can call me overkill if you want to, but I am putting some material in place. Now, once we have everything like this in place, we are going to take a 12 millimeter and we're going to break this free. We're going to break this bolt free. Ooh, that's pretty tight. Now, I just made it to where I can do it by hand because I don't have the bullet brake ready. Now, once I break that free, I'm going to move to the next phase, which is I'm going to get the bullet brake and pull it out of its package. Okay, well, now what I want to do, since I have that at loose enough, you're going to take the bullet brake. First thing we're going to do is we're going to first put the first washer all the way down to the base of the bullet brake. So it's going to go all the way down on top right there, just like this. Then we're going to remove this, and this is where things could get messy. So let's see here. I'm going to try to keep the hose close as I can to staying in place so it doesn't move around a lot. There goes a little bit of drainage, which was, again, to be expected. Remove that little washer that's on the other side. Take your screw completely out. I think they call that a banjo or something. And we're going to take the bullet brake. We're going to insert it. And then we're going to put the other washer on the other end, like this. Get it down tight. And then we're going to insert it and turn it by hand. Only by hand. Not the outer screw. Just turn this by hand until it gets close enough to tight. All right. And like I said, don't let any of this brake fluid get on any part of your paint or anything. And you see I have no leakage or anything. But now with your wrench, you will not be able to use the round part because you can't get it over the plunger. So now we're going to take it, now that we have it hand tight, and we're going to tighten it up. Now, how tight is tight? Well, we're going to put it in here, and then I'm going to use my pinky finger and tighten it as tight as I can with my pinky finger, and then that's it. That's tight enough. Pinky finger tight. Well, not pinky finger tight. As much as pressure as you can use with your pinky finger, then that would be more than enough. Now we're going to go ahead and start real quick getting that brake. Anything that has brake fluid on it, we're wiping this down. So we're going to grab some more of our towels and anything. See, we're not pumping the brakes or anything yet. We're not pumping the brakes like you're going to stop right now. We're not doing any of that. We're just making sure that no fluid is rolling down on the line itself. We're getting everything off of here. We don't want any of it. We want everything to be completely dry. And don't touch your glass. Don't touch anything that has contaminant with this dang brake. And I would leave your rags on there just for a minute to make sure you have no leakage while you do this other stuff. Now you can take this stuff, your banjo or whatever they call it, screw and washers. Take these, clean them off, put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in there with your motorcycle parts so that you could always put this back to factory. I recommend that for everybody. So I'm going to remove this cap because now I want to make the handlebars go straight. I'll explain that. So now I got the handlebars straight. I'm covering everything up. I'm going to keep everything covered up. And I will be back after I'm going to remove this cap. This is the part you don't have to do, but I'm going to remove this cap and I'll be right back. All right, now you see the brake reservoir with the cap open. Again, this is not part of the process, but I want you to see how we're going to deal with the bubbles. Now, see, if you pump this, you see the bubble pop up, and it keeps popping up. Look at all them bubbles. All right, so that's just like priming it. Now, if I squeeze the brake, you see all the bubbles coming up. And what we want to do is we want to continue. Now, this is normal. The bubbles, this is what's happening behind the scenes underneath your cab when you're not paying attention as you pump this. The brake is so light right now. And we're going to do this. And I know it sounds strange. We probably did about 10 right there. But we're going to keep doing this until all the bubbles stop. That's going to be around 35 pumps. And then once all the bubbles stop, the line is complete. All the air from what we just drained out inadvertently, by putting the brake on there, will be gone. So again, this is normal. You just keep doing this until you have no more bubbles. Now you won't know this, so you're just going to have to go by the brake count, how many times I do it. So as it stands right now, you can see that the bubbles have stopped. Now, could that have been about 30, 35? Oh, some more bubbles, so I'm not stopping now. I'm going to keep going. And again, it's a lot. It's a lot. I would say, just to be fair and be consistent, I would say you're going to pump this brake about 45 times. Because what you really want to do, if you happen to have the reservoir cap off and you're looking in there, what you really want to do is once you see the last bubble, which I believe we have seen the last bubble already, then you want to go 15 pumps beyond that. That's not the last bubble. See that bubble pop right there? So this is how you're going to keep having play in your braking fluid. So we got to keep going. That's why it's important to not just give it X number of pumps and say, all right, I'm done, I'm move on my way, because there's still air that's working its way up. And what we want to do is keep doing it until there is no more. All right. Those bubbles are popping. So you can push this in and out too. Should have nothing because we done did this about 10 times. So there you go. Look at it. We're priming it. There's some more bubbles. Just pull that in and out, in and out, in and out. Get all them bubbles out. All right. Doing this about 10 times. But in this case, I'm going to do it about 20, 25 times. Just in and out, in and out, in and out. Squeeze the brake, squeeze the brake. All right. I have seen the last bubbles. These are just popping right now. I've seen the last bubbles. So now I'm going to pump it 15 more times. I know a lot of people are like, man, I think you do it just like 10, 20 pumps or 30. No. You got to go, I'm going to tell you, you're going to go over 45 pumps. I'll give you a count on what we did on this camera here in a second. But that's the whole purpose. We are good. I'm going to reinstall this cap and then we'll go ahead and test out the bullet brake. But let me go ahead and put my cap back on. All right, now that I have the factory OEM cap back on there, we're going to continue to wipe everything off here. I'm going to continue to check and test the bullet brake, putting my bare dry hands down there to see if I feel any moisture. And remember that hose. That hose, brake fluid will run down that hose. So just Remember, we're cleaning off that, making sure that hose doesn't have anything on it. And then you simply squeeze the bullet brake, push it in, let it go, and now you are locked in place. And to release the bullet brake, you just pop it. Squeeze, push it in, and you are locked. Your front brakes are locked. Do that, and you pop it. Now, this is going to be ideal for trailer pulling and stuff like that, so that you don't worry about when you park, because if you have a DCT especially, you know, we have to park our bikes in neutral. And with this bullet brake as an added feature to the actual brake of the actual, what some call in the South emergency brake, this is an added feature. So now I have my back tire would be locked and my front. And then when I release it, I go pop, then I know to go ahead and release my emergency brake as well. You can call it a parking brake, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's the installation process. And now all these rags that I have here, not one rag, I don't care if it looked like it didn't even get anything on it. Every one of these rags will go into the garbage. I do not want any brake fluid contamination. I'm not taking any chances. Okay, I hope you found this video informative on how to install the bullet brake. And I hope the removing of the brake reservoir cap helped you understand why it takes so many pumps to make sure there's no air whatsoever in the line. Now, a lot of people say, well, now do you need to bleed your brakes and stuff? No, you do not. You're not required to bleed your brakes unless you feel like you want to. You don't have to. Everything is fine. We got all the air that was going to be in there out simply by pumping. It is not 10 or 20 pumps, okay? It takes a lot to make sure that all the air is out of the line. So I hope I helped you in some little way. But until next time, just live your life.